Hey, welcome to another episode of Guys with Cigars. I'm your host, your leader. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the button, hit the bell. This person next to me, I never met her before. She just came in. She claims she's my mother. We're going to find out at the end of this episode. Stay tuned as you watch us smoke on Guys with Cigars. All right, so you're going to smoke your very first cigar, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've never done this before. And it's the Perdomo Noir. It's the champagne. It's actually a pretty dark cigar, but I think she can handle it. What do you guys think? I think so. You should be all right. Give you a little light there. Don't mind that it's already been lit. We've only done this video 7 times. But that's okay. It's the first and only time we've done this. And I ain't going to be smoking the Nasty Fritas, as I said when I did the promo so long ago. But, it's been a couple days. But, I usually do these on Monday, post them out on Monday. But, hey, you know what? Things happen, and we don't hold anybody responsible for any of these things. But I am smoking a Nasty Fritas. This one actually is a combination of 2 cigars, the Liga Privada 52 and the number 9. They chop up the little bits when they're done making it. They cram it into this thing, and it makes a delicious cigar. It's very cheap. You can get it over at Puff Culture on the corner of Waverly Avenue and 459. This one here has a closed foot. I lit it already because as I said, we did this earlier. We had a problem with the camera. These things happen. When you do light it, it has a closed foot. Don't peel it back. Don't cut it off. Just burn it straight through, and you'll get the entire wrapper taste as you start your very first inhale. Well, as you put it into your mouth. There's another word, really, right?
Yeah,
inhale.
yeah.
People think I'm saying inhale the cigar. I'm really not.
No.
You just put it in your mouth, and then you exhale.
I'm thinking of 459 on the corner of 459.
Oh, is that what I said?
You did.
$4.95.
I thought there was
The
a new
corner-
459 that I didn't know
corner
about.
of Waverly Avenue and the LIE. So hop down there to Puff Culture, tell them I sent you, and get yourself one of these. It's a relatively cheap cigar, although they did recently raise the tax on cigars, but, it's a luxury item. And
They raise
what
it
are
a
we gonna
lot?
do? I guess. I mean, yeah, they don't want, I guess they don't want people smoking. Oh, they only want rich people smoking. So I don't know. I don't know what that deal is.
Everybody wants to make more money.
Mm-hmm. Well, they want to make more money off people who can't afford to give it. So there you go. So we move on. But that's what we're smoking today, and we're going to do a little back and forth, see what happens. And speaking of money, as they have different quotes and things like that, money is the root of all evil, that kind of stuff. And I was thinking, are there any quotes that you think we can do away with? Anyone's off the top of your head that you hear and you're just like, who's that helping? How is the money the root of all evil? If I have money, am I an evil person? Am I an evil? If somebody has less money than me, are they a better person and I'm an evil person? At what point does the evil kick in?
And I must be a really great person.
But think about it.
I just think it's the pridefulness. If it's the pursuit of nothing but money is an evil pursuit.
You think it's more like that, or you think it's more like no bless you please? That kind of
I
thing?
think it's don't be a glutton.
Yeah.
You don't.
You've heard that sentence before, right?
Yes.
No bless you please.
Yes.
It's actually literal translation is nobles obliged to help the poor. It's nobles obliged, no bless you please. But so what they're saying is basically, is that you help out the poor. Is that what you're saying, or are you saying that don't forget to help out the poor, or just don't be a jerk at the fact that you have money? Like, don't tell people you have money. Don't brag about having money. If you get a new car, can you not say anything because you make a decent amount and the person next to you doesn't, and you might feel bad about it? I mean, how's that fair? You work hard your whole life. You do the best you can, and in the end, you're not allowed to tell somebody something nice you got because you have to feel bad for them when they could have done the exact same thing. Not every slice of pizza is exactly the same size, but at the same time, if you want, I don't know, I was going to go somewhere with that. If you want another slice, go get your own damn pie. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, really. There's plenty of pie out there for everybody, people.
Don't take it all.
There is no all either. It's like, if we could have trillionaires in this country, if we could have trillionaires in this country, then there's no reason why the majority of the people can't go out and get a decent job.
We never heard about that years ago, trillionaires.
Trillionaires.
And now it's not a big thing when somebody's a trillionaire. It's not shocking to anybody.
$1 trillion. Do you know the difference between $1 million and $1 billion is? They say if you take $100 bill, if you take $100 bills and you stack them, you can fit $1 million in a suitcase. If you take $100 bills and you stack them, you can fit $1 billion the size of the Empire State Building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, something along those lines. It's so ridiculously different. It's one word. When we go, million, billion. Yeah, it's a million millions. I mean, that's crazy. Is that right?
Yeah.
$1 million millions?
I don't know. I won't ever
maybe
see it.
Maybe it's 1,000 millions.
I can't imagine
Anyway,
seeing
it's
a million.
It's a lot of freaking millions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, $1 billion. No one should have $1 billion, but at the same time, it's free enterprise. You know, we're supposed to, you can't have that much? Okay. Well, then I'll just take a little less, and then I'll do the rest of my business someplace else.
Well, to whom much is given, much is, what's the rest of it? Much is required.
I never even heard of that. What are you talking about?
It's a Kennedy phrase.
Oh.
That they grew up with from when they were small. It's something about no, something about you have a bigger responsibility when you've been given much. So you have responsibility to other people other than yourself. More responsibility comes along with more money.
So, the less money you have, the less responsibility you have to other people. So if I'm like someone who's like
no, because then you've got the widow's mite, where she gave everything that she had.
What's a widow's mite?
What she had like no money, and she gave all of the money to help out other people. Then
Then she was somebody who needed help.
I guess.
And they didn't give her money
That's as
back.
far as I know. I don't know, and it's a noble thing to do that.
It's a noble thing to give up everything you own to somebody else.
Yeah, well, I went to the church.
Well, of course, I'm sure the church wrote it. Give me 1/3 of your money. It says it right here in
Nope,
the
10%.
piece of paper I just wrote down.
10%, but let's not go into that. I don't want to
10%.
go. I don't go. Yes, 10% of
Actually, I heard that
everything you're supposed to give to the church. It's in the Bible.
No, actually, I heard that Jesus just raised the price. Like another.
Well, you know what? $1 million used to be a lot. When you talked about when I was a kid, and $1 million was, but now
Still not to sneeze at.
But houses are at least $250,000.
Yeah.
And a really good house, depending on where you are, is $500,000.
That's true.
When we paid for the house that your dad and I had, it was $5,000 down and given to me by my parents, and my father couldn't believe $5,000 to put down on a house.
Oh, that was a lot of money?
That was a lot. And
Wow.
the house cost $29,000.
Wow, $29,000.
Yeah. And he said, I think the houses have hit the top of what they're going to go. Nobody could go. Yeah, nobody could go more than $29,000 for a house.
When Kim's dad was still alive, we were in Arizona, and he was showing us what he said was his dream house, and it was right around the corner from where he lived, and it was made of marble. It had this giant driveway. It had this big acre, 2 acres or whatever land. It was a beautiful house, 2-story. And he goes, I can never afford this. And I'm like, oh no, it's a lot, huh? And he goes, it's $200,000. I'm like, $200,000? Jeez.
Yeah. What state?
It was in Arizona, but I don't know. It was in between Phoenix and Tucson. I'm not 100% sure the name of it. It was like they just have like exits. I don't know, like, go off them. But no, it was a really nice house. I mean, don't get me wrong, but for $200,000, that's a deal.
You know how much your grandmother sold her house for? Now that was a 4-bedroom, 2-story, $55,000. Yeah, in Massachusetts.
And that was in the 80s or 80s,
that
89?
was in the 80s.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine what you could go for now. Set yourself up. So anyway, but we got off course, but that's okay. That's what we do. But the whole thing would it just seems so trite when people say things like, I think it's insulting when someone gives you a line you've heard 50 million times. At least you have your health. It's like, oh, so you literally took all the information I just gave you about all the things going on in my life, you narrowed it down to a trite saying that you've heard 50 million times. You didn't even have the common courtesy to think of a new one or think of a new way to say it.
Well, people can't even say that to me now because I really don't have my health. So what are they going to say? At least you've got your red hair.
Yeah, it's true.
That your daughter-in-law just did for you.
That's right. That is not from a bottle.
Shout out to Kim.
There you go. Shout out to Kim. But I'm just saying, it's like, I think there's a certain point where it's kind of rude to give somebody like a line, right?
I think some things you could learn from, some of the things that
But do you think
age-old
people
sayings are worth saying.
have you ever said to somebody, like, oh, thank goodness it's Friday or something like that, and someone goes, wow, you're right. It is Friday. Thank goodness.
They took God out of that too.
It just made my day. Yeah, they can't say thank God it's Friday. For some reason, if you say God, they cut it out of everything.
Or if it's TGIF, that's okay. But so what does that stand for? Thank goodness, like you said?
That's what they do.
They take it out of everywhere.
Oh, they just take it out.
And what kind of a mess this world is in now?
Is there a connection? Who knows? I mean, it's like saying, I didn't eat Cheerios this morning, I got a flat tire.
Like wearing your special Giant stuff because you want them to win.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Because no matter what I wear, they still lose. And let me tell you, speaking of the New York Giants, that are now 0-5, they got robbed. Yes, I'm going to be one of those guys who blames it on the referees, and yes, they did get robbed, and yes, I want my win back. And you know what? I don't get me wrong, man. I feel bad we crippled this quarterback. I feel bad. All right, as bad as you can feel about somebody getting crippled, but we won that game. It's absolutely. Anyway, no, but that's not the same thing. Okay. So, but I always do like weird kind of news and stuff like that, which I always enjoy. So here's one of the things that I found. Trump was on Fox News and he was talking about UFOs, and somebody had asked him, I guess, about UFOs, because they always ask the president, like, oh, do you know about UFOs? Like, it's real clever, like he's gonna answer. And he says, no, I didn't hear anything about that. There was something that someone said 2 days ago, but I haven't looked into it yet. And I tried looking it up. I don't know. That would have been 4 days ago today. But I couldn't find what he was talking about. I think there's something new with maybe the little, the flying saucer. Oh, you know what? I know what it was. The head of the military defense or something like that said that UFOs are actually real. Okay. They said UFOs are real. But that's another clickbaity thing, because anything anyone said is clickbaity. I'm sure he doesn't mean aliens from outer space coming down and doing it. He just had, yes, there are objects. We don't know what they are. Yes, they are unidentified
flying objects, yeah.
Yeah. So he's not talking about, aliens from outer space.
Locky doors.
If they can fly here from another planet, I'm pretty sure they can.
And unlock my door, right?
Yeah, a wooden door with glass in front of it. What do we do?
Especially
How
my
can
doors.
we get in? We just need one more person for our zoo. I don't know what they do with you. I guess, what would we do? What we would do with an alien would be terrible, I'm sure. You'd probably cut them open.
Oh, yeah.
That alien autopsy, ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that wasn't
We'd ask him who he's voting for.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not even the point.
Because that's real important.
Here's the best part. Is he said, I'm not 100% sure about that. I'll look into it. But, we do have the best military in the world, and all other countries are jealous of our military, and we're doing really well. Hopefully we'll never have to use the weapons. They took that, and they put it as a headline that said, and this was not the Mirror, this is not the National Enquirer, it was a regular stand-up newspaper, said, Trump says he'll use weapons on aliens from outer space. You can't even make that up. Like, where did you... Talk about fake news. I mean, that's unbelievable. Do you believe in fake news?
Oh, yeah. How can you not?
There's people out there don't believe. They believe everything they see. Everything that's on there is 100%. Is it smoke too much?
No, but it's hard to know what's fake and what's not, and that's what makes me nervous. If I'm reading something, I'm not sure that it's the truth or it isn't the truth anymore.
And I know how to fix that problem.
How?
I learned years ago, and this is going to be one of those things where where it should be like a one-liner that you shouldn't really say, but I say it anyway. You take the one side of the story, and you take the other side of the story, and you put them together, and somewhere in the middle is where the truth is. You can get rid of. Did you ever see that episode of Roseanne where she's talking about how she takes a donut, and the donut is a guy, and all the crumples on top, or all the things the mother did to him, and she's like scraping it off. And then she's like, this is all the stuff his mother did for him, and this is all the stuff school did to him, whatever. Yeah. And she gets a plain donut. She goes, and then you have to deal with the rest. Well, that's what you do. You take away the You know that they hate Trump, so you take that away. You know that they love Trump, so you take that away. And you go, okay, so-and-so showed up at this time. They said this is that, and then that's it.
A lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be an intelligent voter that people don't want to do. That's why they have the naked votes, like I was talking about, where they have celebrities getting naked and posing for pictures and covering themselves up like this, and they're not really naked, but they're pretending to be naked, and so that way they could teach people how to do a voting and send their ballots in the mail, because they really think
They
that
really
people
don't
are
think
stupid.
that people know how to fill out a ballot.
They don't care who you are or how stupid you are. They want your vote. So they're going to sit there like you're a 2-year-old child, and they're going to hold your hand and walk you through it. And if they can't do that, they will literally, according to Michelle Obama, pick you up from your house, bring you to the voting booth, feed you, and bring you back.
I want one of those.
They
I'm going to
don't-
vote anyway.
They don't even care who you are. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care if you're intelligent enough to put a check mark next to your name. They don't care. They just want to just file them in there, push them in. And that's what they're doing. They think that people are so stupid. But
Well, is that wrong to pick up somebody to take them to vote?
I don't have a problem with you taking somebody to vote. But when you can do a mail-in ballot and you can't figure out the complexities of putting a check mark next to somebody's name, putting it in the mailbox and giving it to the mail guy, do you really want to have that person telling you who the next president of the United States is going to be? I mean, I really don't think that the president affects me on a day-to-day basis anyway. It's more of just a screaming point for people at work and whatever. But, I mean, these are the type of people that you want. There's a reason why. They used to have, and, there's going to be people that are going to complain, but they used to have things where you'd have to take a test before you got to vote, or you had to at least get the minimum amount of identification in order to vote. And the reason is not to discriminate against anyone. It's because if you can't follow the simple instructions on the most basic tasks that you have to do in life, maybe your vote doesn't count as much as everybody else. Maybe someone who's paying attention to what's actually going on and makes an intelligent decision, because you know that they're not.
If we have to eliminate anybody that hasn't made a rational, intelligent decision and looked into this, I think we got quite a few voters missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame, but I think it's probably true.
That's why when they go 60%, only 60% of registered voters voted last election. And I'm like, yeah, sounds about right. About 40% of the people I know are idiots. So
You need a new group of friends.
I'm just saying, it's like 40% sounds a little light, actually. I'd be happy if only like 30% of the people voted and 70% of the people stayed home. It's unbelievable. They're doing all sorts of rallies and stuff, and it makes people feel good, which is cool. And I got friends that do it, and as I was telling one of my friends today, I said, hey, if it makes you happy, man, then that's all. Just as long as nobody's getting hurt, you're having a good time, you're picnicking, you're doing your thing, you get to express yourself or whatever. That's all great. But at least he's doing something. At least there's something.
It feels like he's doing
Yeah,
something.
and it's like at least he has
good.
an intelligent idea,
Right.
Even if it's not necessarily my idea or it is or whatever, but at least he's thinking about his vote, and not getting into the minutia of the fact that one vote in a country of 360 million, I guess 60% of 360 million, that
Did you see
it's so minute.
Did you see the meme about that says the people that voted, and it's got a small column, and that the people that thought their vote wouldn't matter, and it's got a huge column of people that didn't vote because they figured it wouldn't matter.
Well, that's another thing that they're doing there is, and this is one of those things that I don't think is right. The media, we'll just say the media is trying to convince people that there's not a lot of people, because they're allowed to vote already. They're trying to tell you that there's not a lot of people voting. And the reason they're doing that is to discourage other people from going to vote in states where they don't think they're going to win. So they're going, there's not a lot of people out here. There's not all this. And then you have people like, I'm standing here, there's like thousands of people. So, but they won't show.
Well, they do that at the rallies.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Like, they do that a lot. And it's like, so you already know these people are lying to you on a daily basis. Like, all of them are lying to you. There's nobody, I believe, anywhere that doesn't believe in everything that the news is saying, regardless of what news channel you watch. You know that like a good 45% of it is just political talking points with no actual backing behind it. You know, I mean,
I think by now some people have chosen who they like and who they don't, and they're not going to change. They're not going to all of a sudden say, "Oh, I back this person." No, because they said that, I'm not going to.
yeah, well, but every year they're trying to. That's why they don't come to New York. They go to swing states.
Yeah,
Because they're like, well, they're already bought and paid for, so we're going to move on to a swing state.
that's a shame.
It is a shame.
Although Trump has spent a lot of time in New York. He's been here several times.
Well, he lives here. Well, he used to live here.
Right. Well, no, I mean, he's gone out east a lot. I think twice he's been out east.
Well, I know they have rallies. I don't know if he's particularly been there.
He's been there.
Oh, okay. Well,
he kind of slips in and slips out.
yeah. Well, I guess it's the president.
Angela saw him.
Yeah. Another weird thing.
Out east. Shout out to Angela.
There you go. Not to get into too many political things, because people, they like to turn it off when they go, he's talking Trump, click, or he's talking Biden, click, or whatever. I really don't know anybody who is voting for Biden because they like Biden. I know people who are voting for Biden because they don't like Trump.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real reason. I don't think that I don't know a solid person who's given me one piece of evidence to think that this guy would be a good president at all.
That's one of the reasons Kennedy got elected. He said, "Don't vote against me because I'm Catholic."
You know what's funny about
everybody
Kennedy
was
Nixon?
showing they didn't want to vote against him.
And it's a good example of what's going on now.
Sorry.
The older people at the time still had the radio, and then the younger people were into the TV and that whole thing. And Nixon did really well in the debate against Kennedy over the radio. Everybody said he won, but on television, because he saw Kennedy putting on makeup, and he's like, "Why are you putting on makeup?" He said, "This is ridiculous." He didn't know about cameras, and he didn't know that the light from above is really hot. So he started to sweat. So he looked like a liar. And then they go, "Oh, look at this guy, man. He's sweating all over the place. Nobody's believing a word he's saying." He lost.
Yep.
But if you were to go by the radio at the time, he would have probably won the election. Which just goes to show you, that's why celebrities do it. That's why celebrities come on every single. You ever meet a celebrity who wasn't a Democrat? I haven't. I think there's one. Oh well, there's Tim Allen. Right?
I was going to say Tim Allen.
He got kicked off his show and sent to another.
Yeah, but then they had to take him back.
Station. Well, they brought him to another station.
Yeah.
But Roseanne, she got kicked off. I don't know where she fell into the void somewhere. It's very rare, and so it's like I have no problem with you having your opinion, but we really don't need to hear it anymore. I mean, we don't need to know that Bette Midler is a Democrat and she's going to scream and yell and shout. Nobody cares. It's like, we already know. You're not I couldn't take anymore and I have to say something. Why? There's 30,000 other Hollywood celebrities that still want to get paid, and those are the ones that are going to tell you the exact same thing. Why do you have to add to it? What's the point? You're not standing up and saying, "I can't do this anymore. I have to say something."
Oh, I'm real tired of I'm going to move out of this country. If my person doesn't win, I'm going to leave. I'm leaving. It's like that song, The Boxer.
What's The Boxer?
Is it Billy Joel? I don't know who sings it. And the words in it is, the boxer cried, I am leaving, but the fighter still remained.
Oh, yeah, you go.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. It's just that nobody wants to leave anywhere. Nobody wants to go anywhere. And now they're trying. It's funny because, like, they want to blame people for things they can't even be blamed for.
Like?
Death. Like the death of people. No. He caused 215,000 deaths. It's like, okay. But do we really believe that that's the case? I mean, do you really?
No.
Anyway.
We don't want to get to that.
Yeah, well, I try.
Well, naked ballots. I'll try not to vote naked.
I don't even think New York's doing it. I mean, I think that I'm still.
That would be a shame then if I was doing it.
Well, I just mean I don't think they're doing. I think we're going to actually go right to an actual spot and do it. And
I'm going to make sure, but you're going to stand in line, I think.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Actually,
I usually go because I get off work early. I usually go around noon, and there's not a lot of people there.
That's true.
But speaking of weird news, before we get on a whole political thing, I guess we already did go on a whole political thing. But weird news is, we were talking about this earlier, how time travel has a paradox in movies, and if you correct the thing you're going back to correct, then you wouldn't, then the timeline continued, you wouldn't need to go back to correct it, so therefore you're constantly, and then because you'd have to go back and so forth and so on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if somebody came back in Terminator to kill John Connor, right, and he died, then they wouldn't need to go back and kill John Connor because he'd already be dead. So therefore, they wouldn't be, so there's the paradox. Well, they're saying now, scientists have figured out mathematically that if we did have a time machine, that there wouldn't be a paradox, that the timeline would actually correct itself mathematically. In that, if you went back to kill John Connor and in the Terminator, there would be another John Connor that they would have to, that would then take over the mantle and continue on. So no matter
So
what,
another person acting the same as him?
Did you ever see the movie? Here's a perfect example. Did you ever see the movie The Time Machine?
No.
It's a H.G. Wells, very famous book. Basically, what happens is his fiance, if I remember, you guys can watch the movie. His fiance gets hit by a car, I think, and dies, or something like that. So he invents a time machine to go back and fix it. But every time he goes back and fixes it, she dies again, some other way. So he moves her out of the way of the car, she gets hit by another car. Or he moves her out of the way of the car, she falls in a manhole cover, or whatever it is. You know, or like that movie where the people, they escape death, and so death pursues them the entire movie.
Oh.
I forget what that is, and you guys would know. There's like 7 of them. One thing where the guy, a plate glass falls on top of him. Anyway, that's what they're
might have
saying
been better die in the first way.
yeah, that no matter what happened in the future, it would still just correct itself around what you're doing. So basically, they're saying mathematically there is no butterfly effect as far as that goes, because the butterfly effect was the story of the butterfly effect was they would go back and they would hunt dinosaurs that were just about to die, so that way they can go back in time and hunt the dinosaur on a big game. But they're killing him as he's dying, so it doesn't really affect anything.
Okay.
But you have to walk down the exact path that they want to walk down, and the whole thing. So the guy goes on the thing, and
A lot of people put a lot of thought into this time travel thing.
Yeah.
Would you want to do it?
Time
if
travel.
You could go back?
I think my favorite idea for time travel would be to go back as an observer. There's a guy who believes that he went back as an observer, and he was able to observe what was going on with that actually
like
physically.
Is it like an out-of-body experience that people have, that they can observe people, they say?
It's more like you're out of time, in that you're out of time. That was actually the license plate on Back to the Future. Shout out to Tough Guy. And so you go back and you would actually be almost like a ghost, I guess. And you could go back, but I wouldn't like that either. I don't want to inappropriately walk in on somebody, or something.
I don't know if ghosts can do that. You think they can? I think
they can. Why wouldn't they? They can't go into the bathroom while you're taking a grumper or something and wash you on the toilet. I mean,
well, they'd only stay about 2 seconds.
I mean,
I wouldn't want to be there.
I never understood the concept of ghosts anyway. I mean, think about it. They go, oh, someone must have died here in a horrible way, and a part of them is still here. This is what they're doing for the rest. So not only did they have a horrible, horrible death, right? But now they're stuck in this one spot forever.
Yeah.
They literally destroy the entire place. They pave it into a parking lot, and you're just standing in F-25 of the parking lot.
But you think you're still in the place. You think the place is still there.
Forever?
Yeah. I don't know. They used to say...
What do you do when you get up in the morning? Or do you not get up in the morning? Are you always up?
I just want to know if you eat.
I had a conversation with, I guess it was kind of a conversation.
Would you have to eat healthy? No, you could eat whatever you want, right?
With Kim's, I guess. Well, that's the thing, is I was asking, I was talking about, religion, things like that, but ghosts really, to Kim's aunt. And I said, if I were to create a planet and I wanted people to eat healthy, right? I would make broccoli taste like chocolate cake, and I would make chocolate cake taste like dog crap. Because that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
Why is it that we eat a vegetable and we're like, eh? And we eat ice cream and we're like, oh yeah, let's do this again. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. It should be the other way around. And she said that when we die, that is how it works.
How does she know that?
I don't know. The Bible, I don't know. But she said when you die,
I never read that part.
That's how it works. When you die, you go to heaven, and everything is perfect. So when you eat Brussels sprouts, it tastes better than chocolate cake.
If I'm in heaven, I'm not looking up Brussels sprouts. Who's got the sprouts? I want them over here.
Right?
Yeah, that's no.
And you got to toil for it, and you just go. I think I'd get bored.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you just go like, and there's food in front of you. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, think about it now. It's like you go, hey guys, you want to come over? I got some beer, and I have beer here.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine if you go, hey, you want to come over and play Xbox? Nah, I got one. I'm fine. You know what I mean? It's not.
Want to go to all this all you can eat buffet?
Yeah,
no, it's.
Oh, hold on. This one.
Yeah.
It's like.
I don't know. That'd be nice. And
I think it'd be nice at first, but you got to figure you got to be bored, right? After a while.
No, you can get bored. Yeah. There you go with your gluttony and stuff, and your.
Overeat, but you can't overeat. You can eat whatever you want.
Yeah, and you're not taken away from anybody because they can do the same.
Maybe you don't eat because you just at a certain point you don't even care. You just like.
I think that's it. I don't think you need to eat.
What's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's depressing. I still want to eat. Well. Anyway, what can you do? Here's my opinion, okay? And this would be the last opinion I give on any type of politics as we wrap this up. I just wanted to say that they're doing. I told you. Well, we were talking about how they're doing a town hall meeting between Biden and Trump, but they're doing it on two separate channels at the exact same time, and everyone's like, how can they do that? It's like, first off, I think it's a great idea. I think that it'll really show the amount of people who are voting for each, that actually are intelligent voters that care to pay attention.
Unless you have a TV with the two screens.
Well, then maybe you're undecided.
You can watch both.
Maybe you're undecided. But I was saying, you know what people should do?
What?
They should watch the other guy.
The one they don't like?
The one they don't like. What's the point?
I've thought of that too.
What's the point of watching Joe Biden if you want to vote for Joe Biden?
Right.
And just reiterate what you are, and then just go, yeah, he's right. Yeah, and this is why I'm doing it. You're just trying to solidify what you claim you already believe.
So that makes sense.
And it's the same thing with Trump. Watch the other guy, and then see what happens. And try to watch it with an open mind. If you watch it with an open mind and you say, you know what, I'm just going to let this guy say things, and I'm just going to, I originally, when I actually voted for Trump the first time, and I didn't like Trump, and I said, I'm not voting for this guy, it's a joke, and Dad was like, it's not a joke, this guy's really running, and I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm like, I didn't believe this guy was really running. I'm like, this is a joke, it's going to be just, he's going to fall out or something. And then I read his 100-day plan, and I was like, oh, I actually agree with a lot of that 100-day plan stuff. And I actually did vote for him. And Obama was the same way. I did not want Obama. I didn't really know him at all. I never even really knew anything about him. And then I was reading up on some of the stuff we want to do. It was like, okay, I agree with that. Okay, I agree with, you know what? Hey, let's give this guy a shot. The second time, I'm like, you didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, there was the stuff I voted for, so I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Andrea Ocasio-Cortez said the other day, she goes, oh, Trump is only doing these things to fill campaign promises so he can get reelected. It's like, yeah, that's exactly why you do it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to fill your campaign promises so you can get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you're not fulfilling the campaign promises, then you shouldn't be reelected.
Exactly.
And that's my thing. It's
just,
and
that's a strange thing for people to think of.
Yeah, because everybody wants to think somebody's doing it for some reason. And sometimes the reason is the reason they should be doing it.
Yeah, just what you're thinking.
Just what you're thinking. Anyway, that's it for this week's Guys with Cigars. I hope you enjoyed. Did you enjoy your first cigar? Did. You had a little bit of it, but that's okay. I'll save it for later. Maybe next time she'll smoke it again. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the button, say hi to my mom, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.
Bye.